Chapter 1: The Fourth Circle of Hell. As I descended further into the depths of hell, the air grew thick with a palpable greed. This was the fourth circle, where the souls consumed by avarice were condemned to eternal torment. The landscape before me was a grotesque manifestation of insatiable desire and material obsession. Before me lay a vast pit, filled with endless treasures, gold, jewels, and precious artifacts. The souls trapped within reached out with desperate hands, trying to hoard their ill-gotten wealth, forever tormented by their insatiable hunger for more. From every corner, I heard the mournful cries of those imprisoned in this realm. They were the voices of the greedy, forever lamenting their insatiable need for wealth, never realizing the hollowness of their pursuits until it was too late. Figures surrounded me, their bodies contorted and disfigured by their unrelenting greed. They clutched their treasures tightly, their hands fused to the riches they held, forever imprisoned in their own material possessions. I found myself in a labyrinth, its walls adorned with glittering jewels and shimmering gold. The path twisted and turned, leading deeper into the heart of greed, where temptation lurked at every corner, testing my own resolve. In the distance, a flame burned with an eerie intensity, an emblem of the soul's possessive nature. It devoured their desires, fueling the insatiable hunger for wealth that had consumed them in life and condemned them to this eternal damnation. Scales stood as symbols of justice, but here they were twisted and balanced by the weight of greed. The souls desperately tried to tip the scales in their favor, forever chasing an illusion of fairness, but finding only eternal frustration. Hands emerged from the ground, clawing at the air with a desperate greed. They represented the soul's relentless desire to accumulate wealth, their insatiable need driving them to grasp for more, even in the depths of hell. I stumbled upon rivers of molten gold, flowing endlessly through this circle. The souls immersed themselves in the scorching metal, forever scorched by their attachment to material wealth, unable to release themselves from its grip. Melodies of riches and prosperity filled the air, beckoning the souls deeper into their greed. The siren-like voices promised wealth and success, luring them further into their eternal torment, forever chasing a dream that would never be realized. The treasures that once held great value now decayed before my eyes. The gold tarnished, the jewels dulled, and the opulence turned to dust, a stark reminder of the futility of material possessions in the face of eternal damnation. I witnessed souls locked in eternal conflict, fueled by their envy and jealousy. They fought and clawed at each other, each one desperate to claim the wealth of the other, forever trapped in a cycle of covetousness and bitterness. Pits lined the path, bottomless voids that swallowed those consumed by greed. The souls fell endlessly, their insatiable desires propelling them into an abyss from which they could never escape, lost in their pursuit of material gain. Among the cries of torment, I heard whispers of regret for lives wasted in the pursuit of wealth, for relationships forsaken in the name of greed. The souls yearned for a chance to undo their choices, but their pleas fell on deaf ears in the realm of damnation. As I journeyed through the fourth circle, I felt a chill in the air, a sense of fading warmth. The embers of the soul's humanity dimmed, extinguished by their unrelenting greed, leaving them as mere shells, forever hollow and unfulfilled. Greed consumed the souls, manifesting as an unquenchable thirst for more. They drank from goblets overflowing with wealth, but no matter how much they imbibed, the thirst remained, an eternal torment that mocked their insatiable desires. Promises of wealth and success echoed through the darkness, tempting the souls to continue their pursuit. But these promises were empty, illusions woven by their own desires, trapping them in a cycle of perpetual longing and disappointment. The souls of the greedy were cursed with an inability to give. Their hands clenched tightly, refusing to release their wealth to those in need. Their generosity was forever forsaken, and they were left to wallow in their own selfishness. Visions of missed opportunities haunted the souls, tormenting them with glimpses of the wealth they could have obtained, the success they could have achieved. But it was all an illusion, a cruel reminder of their greed's destructive power. As I ventured deeper into the fourth circle, I realized the depths of human avarice and the eternal suffering that awaited those consumed by their insatiable desires. The souls were trapped in a never-ending pursuit of wealth and possessions, forever tormented by their unrelenting greed. The journey through the fourth circle of hell was harrowing, a descent into the darkest recesses of human obsession. But little did I know that even greater horrors awaited me in the depths of the underworld, beckoning me to continue my journey through the infernal realm. Chapter 2: The Fifth Circle of Hell. I stood before the imposing gates that marked the entrance to the fifth circle of hell. The air crackled with an intense energy, foreboding the wrathful torments that awaited within. With a deep breath, I pushed open the gates and stepped into the abyss of anger and resentment. Before me flowed the infamous river Styx, its murky waters swirling with the collective fury of the damned. Its currents were treacherous, carrying the souls of the wrathful, forever trapped in a turbulent and chaotic existence. As I ventured deeper into the fifth circle, the sky darkened and unleashed a tempest of rage. Lightning crackled and thunder roared, mirroring the internal turmoil of the wrathful souls. Rain fell in relentless torrents, drenching everything in an oppressive atmosphere of anger. I heard agonizing screams and witnessed ghastly specters clawing at each other in a never-ending frenzy. These were the wrathful souls, perpetually locked in a violent struggle, their anger consuming them and driving them to inflict pain upon others. A massive whirlpool appeared in my path, drawing in the furious souls with its powerful force. They writhed in the vortex, their anguished faces contorted with hatred, unable to escape the perpetual maelstrom of their own wrath. From the depths of the fifth circle, a volcano erupted with searing fury. Molten lava spewed forth, cascading down the slopes, engulfing the wrathful souls in its scorching embrace, an eternal punishment for their unrestrained anger. Amidst the chaos, embers flickered and danced in the air, carrying with them the residual flames of wrath. The souls, consumed by their anger, were forever scorched by these burning remnants, their bodies eternally engulfed in flames. A dense cloud of acrid smoke enveloped the surroundings, making it difficult to breathe. The smoke was laced with the toxic fumes of hatred, choking the wrathful souls, their screams muffled in the stifling darkness. The landscape was littered with ruins and broken structures, shattered by the wrathful souls' unrestrained fury. The remnants of their once mighty kingdoms now served as a haunting reminder of the destructive power of uncontrolled anger. Creatures of monstrous proportions lurked in the shadows, embodiments of rage and aggression. Their menacing presence served as constant reminders of the wrathful soul's inability to escape their own inner demons. I witnessed furious souls locked in eternal confrontation, their faces twisted in rage as they unleashed their wrath upon each other. Their battles were ceaseless, an unending cycle of violence and pain, forever trapped in their own anger. The wrathful souls were subjected to scorching fires that engulfed their bodies, burning them incessantly. The flames were fueled by their own uncontrolled anger, a torment that left them eternally consumed by the inferno of their emotions. In a cruel twist of fate, the wrathful souls were submerged in a lake of boiling blood. Their hatred boiled within them, mirroring the relentless heat of the liquid, as they struggled and thrashed, forever drowning in their own rage. A cacophony of screams filled the air, the anguished cries of the wrathful souls reverberating through the depths of hell. Their voices echoed with the intensity of their fury, a haunting chorus of eternal suffering. As I ventured deeper into the fifth circle, I realized the depths of human wrath and the eternal suffering that awaited those consumed by their uncontrolled anger. The souls were trapped in a never-ending cycle of rage, forever tormented by their own fiery temperament. The journey through the fifth circle of hell was harrowing, a descent into the darkest recesses of human anger. But little did I know that even greater horrors awaited me in the depths of the underworld, beckoning me to continue my journey through the infernal realm. Chapter 3: The Sixth Circle of Hell. I stood at the entrance of the sixth circle of hell, a realm reserved for the heretics and those who dared to challenge divine authority. The air grew heavy with a stifling heat as I crossed the threshold, the landscape shifting into a desolate wasteland. Beneath my feet, the ground turned into scorching sands that burned with an intense heat. Every step was a torment, as if the very earth conspired against me, punishing my disbelief and skepticism. Barren and gnarled trees lined the horizon, their branches contorted into twisted shapes, as if they themselves were tormented by the heretical souls they represented. The leaves rustled with a sinister whisper, carrying echoes of doubts and defiance. I entered a vast hall, its walls adorned with blasphemous writings and symbols. The air hummed with an unsettling energy as I passed by the defiled depictions of religious figures, a mocking testament to the heretical soul's rebellion against faith. Whispers of skepticism filled the air, the murmurs of those who dared to question the divine. Their voices echoed through the halls, trapped in an eternal loop of doubt, forever condemned to relive their disbelief. Above me, dark clouds churned, releasing bolts of lightning that crackled with heretical fervor. Thunder rumbled with a menacing tone, as if the very heavens expressed their wrath upon those who dared to defy. In the distance, I saw souls writhing in immense cauldrons, submerged in boiling liquid. These were the heretics, forever engulfed in the searing heat of doubt, their minds and bodies subjected to an eternal baptism of skepticism. I followed a winding path, its twists and turns leading me through a maze of disorienting illusions. The path seemed to shift and contort, a reflection of the heretics' twisted logic and distorted beliefs. Giant pillars, once symbols of stability and faith, now stood broken and fragmented. They crumbled under the weight of heresy, a visual reminder of the shattered foundations upon which the rebellious souls built their descent. A ferocious wind tore through the barren landscape, carrying with it fragments of heretical texts and dissenting voices. The gusts battered against me, whispering seductive ideas of disbelief and challenging my own convictions. I stumbled upon souls bound in chains, their bodies contorted and restrained. They were the skeptics, forever trapped in their own disbelief, their minds shackled to an unending cycle of questioning and uncertainty. I found myself in a labyrinth of conflicting ideologies, where every turn presented a paradoxical choice. The walls bore inscriptions of contradictory beliefs, trapping the heretical souls in a never-ending cycle of confusion and contradiction. In the heart of the sixth circle, I discovered a deep chasm, spewing forth tongues of flames that licked the air with a relentless hunger. The heretical souls were condemned to plunge into the fiery abyss, their doubts and dissent fueling the eternal inferno. As I ventured deeper into the sixth circle, I realized the depths of human disbelief and the eternal suffering that awaited those who challenged the divine order. The souls were trapped in a perpetual state of heresy, forever tormented by their rejection of faith. The journey through the sixth circle of hell was harrowing, a descent into the darkest recesses of human skepticism. But little did I know that even greater horrors awaited me in the depths of the underworld, beckoning me to continue my journey through the infernal realm. Chapter 4: The Seventh Circle of Hell. I stood at the threshold of the seventh circle of hell, a realm reserved for the violent and cruel. The air grew heavy with a sense of impending doom as I ventured deeper into this sinister domain. The landscape transformed into a nightmarish wasteland, a twisted reflection of the brutality that awaited. Before me flowed a river of blood, its crimson current snaking through the desolate plains. The stench of iron filled the air, mingling with the screams of the damned, as the violent souls were submerged in the macabre depths, forever drowning in their own acts of brutality. I entered a thicket of gnarled trees, their branches adorned with sharp, thorny spikes. Each step became a perilous dance, as the trees seemed to reach out, eager to impale those who dared to pass. Their twisted forms whispered tales of pain and suffering. As I ventured deeper into the seventh circle, I stumbled upon a vast battlefield, frozen in eternal conflict. Specters of warriors clashed with ferocity, their weapons slashing and piercing, forever trapped in a cycle of violence and bloodshed. Flames erupted from the ground, their fiery tongues devouring the condemned. The violent souls writhed in agony, their bodies scorched by the relentless inferno, a punishment fitting for their insatiable thirst for destruction. The air was filled with anguished cries and tortured screams, the collective wailing of those tormented by their own violent acts. Their haunting pleas for mercy echoed through the desolate landscape, a chilling reminder of the consequences of unrestrained brutality. I stumbled upon chambers of torment, where sadistic demons reveled in inflicting unimaginable pain upon the damned. Devices of torture lined the walls, their metal surfaces stained with blood. The agonized cries of the tortured souls reverberated within, a symphony of suffering. Within the seventh circle, I witnessed souls locked in a perpetual state of rage and aggression. Their bodies contorted in torment as they lashed out at each other, their fists and weapons forever seeking to harm, trapped in an unending cycle of violence. Deep pits yawned open, their depths shrouded in darkness. Within them, the violent souls were trapped, condemned to an eternity of isolation and despair. Their screams echoed from the depths, their hopelessness resonating through the abyss. I encountered a river of molten iron, its surface bubbling and glowing with an intense heat. The violent souls were submerged in the scalding liquid, their flesh seared and their screams swallowed by the seething inferno. I stumbled upon grotesque forms, twisted and mangled beyond recognition. The violent souls' bodies had become grotesque reflections of the pain they had inflicted upon others, a visual testament to the horrors of their actions. Sinister shadows lurked in the corners, whispering promises of revenge and retribution. They fed on the violent souls' insatiable thirst for vengeance, encouraging them to perpetuate the cycle of violence, forever trapped in their own vengeful existence. As I ventured deeper into the seventh circle, I realized the depths of human violence and the eternal suffering that awaited those consumed by their own cruelty. The souls were trapped in a never-ending spiral of torment, forever condemned to experience the pain they once inflicted. The journey through the seventh circle of hell was a horrifying descent into the darkest depths of human savagery. But little did I know that even greater horrors awaited me in the depths of the underworld, beckoning me to continue my journey through the infernal realm. Chapter 5: The Eighth Circle of Hell. I stood at the precipice of the eighth circle of hell, a realm where fraud and deception ruled supreme. The air was thick with a suffocating sense of malevolence, as if the very atmosphere was tainted by the sins of the souls that dwelled within. With a shiver running down my spine, I cautiously stepped forward, descending into the heart of darkness. As I ventured deeper into the eighth circle, an ominous fog enveloped me, obscuring my vision and distorting reality. The mist whispered with treacherous promises, tempting me to stray from the path of righteousness. Shadows danced just beyond my peripheral vision, whispering secrets and lies. Before me, a murky river meandered through the desolate landscape. The water ran thick with swirling currents of deceit, carrying with it the weight of broken promises and shattered trust. I hesitated at the river's edge, knowing that crossing it meant wading through the very essence of human cunning and manipulation. To cross the river, I encountered a series of treacherous bridges. Each step I took was a test of my own resilience and discernment, for the bridges shifted and crumbled beneath my feet. The souls of the fraudulent watched from the shadows, their wicked grins mocking my every move. Descending into the depths, I found myself surrounded by deep pits, their depths filled with twisted figures trapped in a perpetual cycle of deceit. They writhed and contorted, their voices weaving a tapestry of lies. Their eyes bore into my soul, warning me of the dangers that lay ahead. In a cruel mockery of paradise, I entered gardens that bloomed with ethereal beauty. But the vibrant flowers and luscious fruits were mere illusions, concealing treacherous traps. Thorns pierced my flesh, and sweet nectar turned bitter on my tongue, a reminder that nothing was as it seemed. A labyrinth awaited me, its twisting paths a maze of false identities and hidden agendas. At every turn, the faces of the fraudulent souls changed, assuming personas of innocence and virtue. I could trust no one, not even my own instincts. Within the labyrinth, I stumbled upon halls lined with mirrors that distorted reflections. I caught glimpses of my own visage, twisted and contorted into grotesque masks. Laughter echoed from unseen corners, mocking my vulnerability to manipulation. Entering chambers of darkness, I encountered souls locked in eternal torment, forever consumed by their acts of betrayal. Their cries of remorse reverberated through the halls, a haunting chorus of regret. The walls themselves seemed to whisper tales of broken trust and shattered loyalty. As I ventured deeper into the eighth circle, the shadows took form, weeping and lamenting their own treachery. Their mournful wails filled the air, a chorus of remorse echoing through the abyss. They reached out with ghostly hands, their touch carrying the weight of their past sins. In a chamber of judgment, souls were weighed on scales, their deceit and fraudulence measured against their deeds. Those found wanting were cast into the depths, their screams of anguish swallowed by the abyss. The relentless pursuit of personal gain had led them to this eternal damnation. As I descended further into the eighth circle, the true magnitude of human wickedness became apparent. The souls trapped within were forever tormented by their own cunning and manipulative nature. The depths of their deceit seemed endless, a testament to the darkness that dwells within the human heart. The journey through the eighth circle of hell was a terrifying descent into the realm of fraud and falsehood. I could feel the weight of deceit pressing upon me, the malevolence seeping into my bones. But little did I know that even greater horrors awaited me in the depths of the underworld, beckoning me to continue my journey through the infernal realm. Chapter 6: The Final Descent. I stood at the edge of the ninth circle of hell, the ultimate realm of suffering and damnation. The air was icy and suffocating, a bone-chilling reminder of the horrors that awaited me. With a heavy heart and trembling limbs, I took my first step into the abyss, prepared to face the unimaginable terrors that lay ahead. As I descended into the ninth circle, the landscape transformed into a desolate wasteland, covered in a blanket of eternal ice and snow. The biting cold pierced through my clothes, numbing my skin and turning my breath to mist. Every step I took was a struggle against the freezing winds that seemed to carry whispers of despair. A river of tears snaked through the frozen expanse, its waters dark and turbulent. The mournful cries of the damned echoed within its depths, their anguish reverberating through the air. I treaded carefully, avoiding the icy currents that threatened to pull me into their icy embrace. Amidst the frozen wasteland, I encountered souls forever locked in icy tombs, their bodies twisted in eternal torment. These were the betrayers, condemned for their treacherous acts against those closest to them. Their eyes pleaded for mercy, but there was no escape from their icy prison. Moving forward, I encountered towering giants, their massive forms covered in frost and anger. These ancient beings were the wardens of the ninth circle, forever trapped in their icy confines, ready to unleash their wrath upon any who dared to disturb their domain. Their booming voices echoed through the frigid air, a constant reminder of their formidable presence. A vast, frozen lake stretched before me, its surface smooth and treacherous. The souls of the traitors were encased in the ice, their faces twisted in eternal anguish. I heard their muffled screams, trapped within their icy prisons, their pain forever frozen in time. As I ventured deeper, the winds grew more ferocious, whipping through the frozen wasteland with a relentless fury. The gusts carried with them the anguished cries of the damned, echoing through the barren landscape. I shielded my face from the biting cold, my body trembling with each gust that threatened to knock me off balance. In the heart of the ninth circle, I beheld a towering structure, the very pinnacle of despair and damnation. The Tower of Lucifer loomed before me, a monument to the fallen angel's defiance. Its walls were adorned with grotesque figures, forever etched in torment and suffering. The closer I approached, the more oppressive the atmosphere became, as if the very essence of evil permeated the air. I reached the final threshold, the gates that marked the end of the ninth circle. They loomed before me, massive and forbidding, adorned with twisted iron and adorned with writhing souls. The gates creaked open, revealing a darkness beyond comprehension, a void that seemed to swallow all hope. As I passed through the gates, I entered a void of utter darkness, where even the smallest glimmer of light was extinguished. The silence was deafening, and a sense of profound emptiness enveloped me. I had reached the core of the ninth circle, where all that remained was eternal nothingness. In the depths of the ninth circle, I stood at the precipice of the abyss, a chasm that seemed to stretch into infinity. Its depths were shrouded in impenetrable darkness, a black void that devoured all light. I peered over the edge, feeling the pull of oblivion, the temptation to surrender to the void's embrace. As I gazed into the abyss, I realized the true nature of the ninth circle of hell. It was a place of eternal torment, a realm of complete and utter despair. The souls trapped within were condemned to suffer for eternity, their sins and betrayals eternally punished in this desolate and icy realm. The journey through the ninth circle of hell was a harrowing descent into the depths of darkness and hopelessness. Every step I took tested my resolve, and the horrors I witnessed haunted my every waking moment. But little did I know that even greater terrors awaited me in the depths of the underworld, urging me to continue my journey through the infernal realm.